Yeah, we're alive.
Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Lotto show. Tonight we're playing for a figure of 7,700. And as you notice, we're all laughing here as we're coming on because Dave made reference to the sign behind my back and he was wondering why there are carrots in the background. And Marie put him. Marie, what did you tell him?
Well, it was because it was for Easter. I was trying to keep up with the Easter theme.
Out with the Easter
trying
theme.
to make everyone feel a bit Easter.
Yeah, so so that's it. Carrots for Easter, and there must be a Rudolph of Easter as well. Unusually for us, we're going on a Tuesday night, and the reason for that is traditionally every bank holiday weekend, as long as I can remember in the club's history, we gave out our Lotto as a fundraiser to various clubs and organisations within the parish, and it was very welcome from them. They sold lots of stuff in Howleys, outside Howleys. If it was a school, they sent the stuff home to the parents, and it was a good fundraiser for them. And over the next couple of weeks, we'll be having some of those organisations. Like last week, now Nikki referred to the card game. Now, well, actually, they weren't beneficiaries of our Lotto. They were people who actually gave us some funding, but lots of other groups that'll be coming, like the Twinning, for instance. In a few weeks' time, we're going to have Eileen Connelly and a few more people from the Twinning on, going back to a time in the 90s, I think it was, when Eileen was responsible for getting Galway United to come down and play Kerry in selection in the Fairgreen. So more about that at some time in the future when we're a little bit clearer. Eileen has to do a little bit of research on the subject. So thank you, Eileen. And thanks to everybody involved in the Twinning. So we'll hit over to Knockatee to see Dave and Angela and to see what numbers they're going to pull out for us tonight.
Right. Here we go. 10.
Number 10.
5.
Number 5.
17.
17. 5, 10, 17.
And 31.
31. Okay, a big spectrum of numbers there. Okay, while Angela and Dave are checking, I think Dave is going to come back to us fairly shortly, but Angela is going to do the check in there, doing a Stokes, Kennedy and Crowley on the thing. So, okay, I'd like to welcome tonight's special guest, and that's Marie Nicklin. Marie, you're very welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Brian.
You're more than welcome to it. Just some news from our AGM. It mightn't be common knowledge, but Dave Donlan was he was our treasurer for the last 10 years, maybe 12 years. And Dave has stepped aside to become the junior party in this partnership. Marie is now our treasurer and Dave is our assistant treasurer. So in that capacity, how are you settling into that job, Marie, at the moment?
Well, it's a big role to take on, and I'm taking the role from a very capable and very thorough treasurer. But I was very lucky that Dave we worked together for the last year, really, with the intention of kind of taking over and taking the role from Dave. So yeah. I'm very grateful that he was there in the background with me, kind of guiding me. And I suppose it's not the hardest time to take over because there's not an awful lot happening. But yeah. And I'm very lucky that he's staying in the background and going to help me out wherever possible. Yeah. But the club is very capable, very strong, and I kind of look forward to hopefully getting a bit more stuck in once we get back to playing, and once we can start doing a bit more fundraising and various things for the club. That'll be great.
That's great. So Dave, you're telling us, was your mentor or yes. He wasn't a tormentor, he was a mentor.
No, very capable.
Yeah, I'm just curious that while I have you here and going to ask you the questions. Where did you live in England? What part of England were you in before you came over to Ireland? Did I see somewhere that you were from Leicester, or did you?
Well, obviously, all my soccer skills are learnt from my background in Leicester. Yes,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
we were all born in Leicester.
In Leicester, yeah.
Yeah, and very very hearty Leicester City fans, the four girls, and Dad part time because he shares it with Manchester United as well. Yeah. So, but for the last, I mean, I lived in Leicester for the first 20 years of my life, and then I moved to nearer Birmingham and a little town called Lichfield, just outside of Birmingham, and that's where I was until we moved back here. I'm here 12 years now. Again.
12 years, yeah, very good.
So Mum and Dad and my sisters were already here, so it was kind of natural that I would come back, and I persuaded Pete to come back with me. But my heart is very much still in Leicester, and my cousins are there, and as I said, everything I know is from there. So
yeah. So we say when Leicester, you're obviously a Leicester City supporter, through and through. So the year I can't what it's 5 years ago or 4 years ago when they won the league, that was some feat. The way they just took it up against the big hitters,
absolutely,
and just nailed them there. And Mr. Vardy had a super season. And one of the great admirers within our own club of the style of the lack of possession, but the use of the ball was Dermot Kilgariff. I think he modelled the style of football of the teams that he has for Dunmore Town on the basis of the way Leicester put it. He said, never mind possession, it's what you do with the ball when you get it. And, Dermot is probably looking in at the moment, and he's going to agree with me. Thank you for that little bit of information regarding the background. And so from now on, we'll think of you when we're watching Leicester. So I don't know if Dave is there in the background, if you're ready to come back into us, Dave. We have a little video that... These are the teams we said, just to give a little context to where we are. Dunmore Town ladies soccer and girls soccer was at a peak up to about 10 years ago, and then it just faded away. And with the efforts of Fergus Boland about 5 to 6 years ago, and then laterally with yourself and some other people, thankfully we've got it up and running again. So that photo on front of us there now. An age group there.
Yeah, that was our under 12 team. Now that particular picture was 2018. So we were able. I mean, Fergus had done a great job, and we were able to kind of come on board in early 2018 with a few new coaches, and we kind of pulled in a few more girls. And this was our under 12 team at the time, and they came second in the league that year. And then they were invited up to Salt Hill. That's where that picture was taken, in to Drone Park. And we went up on the Saturday for a regional cup. And they had a mighty day. They were brilliant girls. I mean, it was very new to them. we got to Salt Hill, and they suddenly decided that we were going to play offside. And these girls had never played offside, because in Roscommon League at this age, we didn't have to do. So it was like a quick lesson in how to play offside. And Michelle, you can see Michelle there, and Sandra and Marie Breheny, and they were brilliant with them. And the girls were so good. We stopped for Supermax on the way back, and it was so good for them to be invited somewhere. Kilkerran were the other team from Roscommon with them, and Kilkerran were always the team that that we would always want to be beaten. And we met them. We played a match against them at the end of that day, and had a great time. So they were really strong, and a lot of these girls are still playing. Some of them began to under 16, some of them are still in under 14. And
but what's great to see in that, Marie, is the fact that we have 3 former players out there coaching again, and that's really the fundamental of any good club, is like when players finish for whatever reason, or maybe continue playing, to get involved with the coaching and looking after younger teams. That augurs well for the future.
Absolutely, and all three managers there as well all kind of went into the senior team as well. And the newer senior team, and they're there. And these are our under 14. This was the under 14. Oh, it's skipping there now. But okay, so this
there,
team,
Dave, Just leave it on that one, so Dave.
That's all right.
Oh, we're back again.
We're back again. These were our under. It's jumping now. So our lovely shield here now, this was our last under 16 team. And we were so lucky to keep, these girls were brilliant. They were our first really strong under 16 team from 2018. We had Lucy Hannon and Anya Hannon, Katie Canny and Grania Diskin working with them. And they had such a tough season. Their first season out, I don't think they didn't win a single game. They didn't score, they hardly scored any goals, but they fought and fought. And they were so good together. Yeah. And then just with the nature of the league and how many teams there were in the league, they ended up in a Shield final because obviously, bottom. And they won the Shield final 5-1.
And where was that photograph taken?
In Lee Carrow.
On Lee Carrow, the county grounds.
In the October. And it was the first time they'd scored that many goals, and they came back with the Shield. And do you know what? They were great. There was such a team spirit amongst them. And unfortunately, like for them going forward, some of them girls definitely wanted to come back, but there was no under 16 team. There was no other league teams last year for them to play. Now we're changing to the same as the boys system this year if we get back. So we'll be going on the odd numbers. So we'll be going 13s, 15s, 17s. So potentially there's an opportunity for some of these girls to play. But actually, Molly in there, there's two girls in there now, Molly and Quiva, that they've gone onto the senior team. So some of the girls are still playing, and there's options for them to to come back for under 17 and for senior. So they were great, and the coaches were brilliant with them. So it was a great day out and a great result for them.
Yeah, so for anybody looking in here tonight that isn't involved in the club or maybe have children, have girls that want to play soccer, or maybe from another parish looking in, what nights do you train for the girls' soccer? There's a special night for you. Yeah, so mainly for the Roscommon League, mostly match nights and training nights are Wednesdays. And I suppose that it's great that there's that consistency. So we normally would train on a Wednesday evening, and then maybe the following week there might be a match and we might be home or away. I know the older teams, like these under 16s, sometimes they change maybe to a Monday, just because it just fitted around. Some of these girls now might be doing study, so it kind of suited them to come in straight from school, maybe on a different night. Yeah. But on the whole, matches were always Wednesdays, and that was great. And it meant if they were playing other sports, it didn't matter. There was a set night for it. So we'd love to see some of these girls coming back again. They're just, we know ourselves from what we hear in the news that this age group, particularly for girls, it's very difficult. A lot of girls at this age do drop out of sport. It isn't as strong for them in school, and then they kind of lose that enthusiasm for various reasons. But to keep them playing, and as I said, to see some of these then moving on to senior. And, some of them might help with coaching and, help with the underage and summer camps. And they're amazing girls, and they're so strong-willed, and there's such great team spirit with them. And, I'd love to see, it's great. The year that we had this team, we had all age groups playing. And it would be lovely to see it again, to see the under 16s, under 17s playing. And that's for them. It's great. That's very good. Well, hopefully, your hopes for them will turn out that. Just while I'm just here at the moment, I just want to make just a comment here that the comments line is open there. So for anybody out there who wants to make a comment or say something to Marie or congratulate her or whatever type of a comment you want to make, feel free to do so. You just go onto our Facebook page there and make your comment, and we'll put it up if it's printable. Sorry, you were back there with the management team, So that was the picture that popped up there was Katie and Anya and Lucy and Grania, and they were working with the 14s and the 16s that season, and got them both to Shield finals. And very good. I suppose at that age, as we know, it often happens, a lot of the 14 girls were playing for the 16 team as well. And it was great to have them on board. And Katie's very much involved now with the senior team, and Lucy and Anya were playing in the senior team. And hopefully, if we can get the 17s going again, I would hope the girls will come back and give us a hand, because they really enjoyed it themselves as well. So well done, and thanks very much, girls, for helping out it's great to have people helping us out of the caliber of two internationals. Not too many clubs can say that they have two ex-internationals. Just before we go on to the girls there in pink there, there's a comment there from Michael Tully. Can you put that up there, Dave? This is from Michael Tully, the great Mick Tully. At one time, a great man by the name of Tom Landy had a name on me. I was Trapattoni, and Mick Tully was known as my sidekick at Tardelli. So it was Trap and Tardelli. It wasn't a bad name to have. Mick Tully has, congratulations, Marie. Keep up the good work. Great to see experienced players involved. And thanks, David, for your great work, I'd say. For your great in the past. I'd say he meant your great work in the past. Okay, Dave, you can take that one off again. And we'll chat about the girls up on screen for us, you know. We'll go back to the pink again if you can. Yes, that bunch of girls. Yeah, I
just sent you this one because these girls went to Claremorris there in it was in April of 2019. Claremorris were running a soccer sisters camp during the Easter break. It was actually this time of the year, and it was completely open to whoever. And it happened to be that we had these girls from our club, and they rocked up in Claremorris, and sure, they gave their all for the week. And got their lovely T-shirts, and you know, it was great to see the parish represented somewhere else as well.
So the tops they have are the soccer sisters,
absolutely,
are they?
And all of those girls are still playing. So
that's great. That's brilliant.
We have between under 8s and under 14s there as well. So it's great. So that was a lovely little week that they had.
Can you move on to the next one there, Dave? This one here, that's yourself and.
This was a kind of early in the days as well. I think these were actually the under 6s at the front and under 8s. It was in a Blitz in Glen Celtic during the summer. And obviously I was with them. I mean, the under 8s and under 6s last season, obviously we had a very short season last season with our late start, but we had about 35 girls of under 6 and under 8 training on a Wednesday night, and most of these girls are still playing now. They're just so, I mean, you know, we've always kind of welcomed the whatever age really. So sometimes we have 4-year-olds and sometimes, you know, we have 8-year-olds, and you know, they love getting stuck in. They're not scared of the ball. They'll play against the boys. They'll just, you know, again, it's just so good to kind of get them out and get them playing, and you know, teaching them really basic skills. And I mean, and myself and Katrina Flaherty, Claire Daly, Katrina Flaherty and Michelle Shaughnessy were working with these girls last year. And, you know, they bring their friends because they love it, and they just, you know, they just give it their all, and they, you know, and a lot of them then will move on, and they just love it, and they want to play matches all the time. So we're very lucky that the other local clubs and most of the clubs in the league will offer a Blitz, you know, during the summer, during the term, and you know, we might go 5 or 6 times. We might be going out to different places and, you know, playing lots of different teams, and it gives them great experience of playing matches, you know, and scoring goals or not scoring goals, and you know, and it just really brings them on, and then, you know, gets them ready then for under 10 when it gets a little bit more serious than under 12.
Oh, that's very good. Another comment in there from Nicky Welch. Nicky was our guest last week, a famous goalkeeper. He says, best of luck as Chancellor of the Exchequer. Don't go too mad with the checkbook. So there he goes. Well, with Dave along, I don't know if we even have a check. I don't think we have a checkbook anymore. I'm not too sure. Thanks, Nicky, for that one. You can remove that one again, Dave, and move on. We'll move on to the next slide there. If we have it there. It's another group of, I'd say, what age group?
Yeah, again, just our under 8s. They're just like, you know, their enthusiasm, and they, you know, they come to the camps in the summer, and they're great to work with. They really are. And like I said, all they want to do is play matches. They're mighty.
Yeah. So we're just moving along then. Yeah. Just the last slide we have up there are of, you're also involved with the ladies team. Can you just clear that one up a bit, Dave, for us? Just move it a bit forward. Yeah. A bit more, I think, because there seems to be a double up on them there. Yeah, that's a collage picture of that's the women's team, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So how is women's soccer now progressing?
Women's soccer, yeah, we were, I suppose, to put a bit of background on it, we in kind of about October of 2019, a few of us were chatting about, wouldn't it be great to see, you know, a senior team back again? And again, like you mentioned with Michelle and Sandra, you know, those two are training the girls anyway, so they were having the chat and, oh, it'd be great and whatever. And so we kind of, we asked Callum to maybe come on board with us, and they started training in January of 2020. I think they got two matches in to a season. And then, of course, we went into our first lockdown. So they had a bit of a break for a while. And then whenever we could get back training, they did, and started the second season. And similar again, I think we've got 2 matches in. Yeah. So they haven't had much luck in the sense of a great run of play, but they... as Callum mentioned the last week he was on, you know, we've been doing walking and running and trying to get out and keep fit. Our little collage picture here was because team photos, we weren't supposed to be, when we had our team photos in the last run, they were supposed to be 2 meters apart. So we kind of stuck with the collage and we didn't do any major. So
that's a COVID friendly.
That's a COVID and compliant
compliant friendly picture.
But, again, I suppose it's similar to what I was saying about the girls, you know, the importance of getting women out playing and to get, you know, girls out playing soccer. And, you know, this senior team they're brilliant. You know, you have 17-year-olds in there, as I mentioned. Some of them were playing under 16 there only 2 years ago. And then you have, you know, slightly older players as well, very experienced players. You have some mums in there, you have some nieces, cousins, you know, and again, they just, you know, a lot of them were, oh, I'm not sure if I can play, I'm not sure if I can do it. And they've stuck with it. And, you know, Callum has been brilliant with them, and Katie's there all the time. And they work really, really hard. And, you know, I think they're dying to get out. You know, it'd be lovely to see the season starting again. So, you know, and it's just it's a great buzz for the club. And, you know, men's soccer has always been so strong in Dunmore, and women's soccer as well. And the history with women's soccer in Dunmore is so amazing. So it's just so good to see it going again, and seeing the support as well. Because I mean, we know ourselves, you know, support for women's sport is there, but it's not as prominent because people just don't know it's happening so much. So, and I think the club's been really strong in promoting it and really getting people to see that anybody can join, anybody can come along. They were training maybe a couple of nights a week, and then the matches for the women tend to be on a Sunday. So as soon as we get the go ahead, they'll be there ready to go again, and people are more than welcome to join and come on board with us and train. And some of the girls are happy to train and not play, you know, they're not as keen to play a match. And again, that's fine. And some of them then change their mind halfway through, you know, so it's just great for the fitness. It's great for the social aspect when they will get that eventually, and you know, for the chat and a bit of fun and getting out and getting that fresh air, and it's really good for the head and really good for the body. So
well, that's it. That's an excellent way to finish up on the girls and ladies stuff. Dave, you can come back in again that was excellent, Marie. I can see your enthusiasm for the job and all the girls. If it's matched by all the girls, it's only a matter of time before we'd be out there playing winning soccer again and competitive soccer. And it's great to see it up and going. And thank you very much for all the work you've done, and for everybody else, for all the coaches and the staff there. In comparison to, we said, 10 years ago and 15 years ago, when ladies soccer was very strong and girls soccer, we wouldn't have had the amount of ladies involved in the coaching part of it. But I can see that the results of all those, their mums now, like having played soccer, are back again. And it's great to see them putting a little bit of input back into the club. Yeah. While we're on the subject of soccer there, and before we bring Ollie back in, Dave, just a short bit of that video there, just for people and for information purposes for people. Our summer soccer again. Okay.
Put sound on it, Brian.
Yeah, you don't have. You can just go back a little bit with it, Dave, and we turn it down a bit, yeah. You don't have to put sound. You can mute the sound, and if you start with it. So basically, okay, we can leave it at that, and we just go. We go back to. Okay, just to explain the video that the Gremlins are at work with us here. I was talking to Adrian Carberry, who's the Roscommon Development Officer, and he rang me up earlier on this evening, and he just wanted to check and see that all going well, what dates we'd be picking for the summer soccer camp. And it's the 26th to the 30th of July, subject to the COVID situation being okay at the time. So pencil it in your diary if you're somebody that's thinking of going on a staycation around that time, and you're a bit disappointed that you can't get your child to the soccer camp. Well, those dates, it's usually we have a camp around race week, so that's up and going. But I think that if Adrian is looking in tonight, I think there was also an ulterior motive with them ringing me up today, because Athlone Town had a massive win over Galway United last Friday night. It was unexpected, I think, for a lot of us, but not for Adrian. And they were 3-0 up at halftime and won at 3-1. So I think he just wanted to get the little dig in. But anyways, I think it's time, if he's there in the background, to bring in the one and only Ollie Turner. If he's ready to come in, he has some important news to announce to us. Welcome, Ollie, to the show.
God above. I mean,
how about that?
I don't know what important news. Well, the main news is I found a checkbook from the early 90s, so I'll be delighted to present that to Marie.
Thank you.
Just to let you know, Marie, there is an historical bill there going back to the early 90s in my time with Lasheen for a physio bill. So that might take maybe 3 or 4 weeks of Lotto to try and sort out. But good luck in your role anyway, and well done. It was great to see so many great pictures there from the girls' soccer. We've 2 girls in this house who were part of that collage, and delighted. I was up at the first ladies' match, believe it or not, up in Annadown when we shocked last year's champions by getting the first 2 goals. They came back at us, but there's a great scope for the future there, definitely, with girls' soccer. I think a lot of you are wondering at the moment what's going on in the Fairgreen as regards the upkeep of the facility, and we're managing to do so. As well as that, we're also keeping cognizant of the fact that we got some funding a couple of years ago to complete our walkway, which is around the perimeter of the facility, and that will be completed in the next week or thereabouts. And that'll be very exciting, because what that will do then is allow parents during the summer, and you talked about those summer camps, and isn't that a date to aim for, the end of July, where we hope things will have opened up, and that the walkway, which will be fully functional, will allow parents to drop off their young girls, their young boys for soccer training, for a soccer camp, and then continue getting those steps up and getting around the perimeter of the Fairgreen. It's a lovely loop of a walk. It's going to be connected up with the River Walk down at the back of Howley's, and then back up around by the side of the rugby pitch, through the back of the rugby and soccer pitches, in front of the dressing rooms, and then up around the perimeter of the high wall at Barrack Square. And the walkway will be fully finished off. It'll be curbed and separated from the pitch, so you'll be walking on a proper surface that will be used not just for walking, but it'll be handy to come in again in the future in terms of sports days. So it's just another added commodity to what is a blossoming sports facility up there at the Fairgreen. And you keep referring back, Brian, to 10, 15 years ago and how much it's come on in that time.
Oh yeah, I mean, it has really come on with at the moment we're looking like to actually replace the lights that are there for 20 years. So I think, Dave, you're probably know more about what we're going to do with the lights than I would at the moment. So if you wouldn't mind coming in on that one.
Yeah, we have. Well, I have lights in the garage. We have 8 lights. We're going to get them up now in the next, as soon as the weather gets a bit drier, because we need to get a big hoist on the pitch. We can't go down the big hoist. We tried before with the nets, and it got stuck on the way back. So we're just waiting for it to dry up, and we'll replace the lights on, as you look down on the left-hand side between, say, the soccer and the rugby. And then when they're done, then we hope to do the lights on the right-hand side on the training pitch side. So that'll be the second phase. So we'll get these 8 up first, and then we'll switch over and get these other 8 then later on in the year. Then.
Yeah, now these are state-of-the-art LED floodlights.
Yeah.
Where do they come from, David?
Direct from China.
China. Right.
China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So don't worry.
hopefully.
We'll give them a good wipe down before they go up. Is that okay?
Well, John McGarren was putting them up, so we'll see. See what he thinks of them.
They will make a big difference. Just to mention, Brian, as you finish up, obviously we got some state capital funding going back to the sports capital of 3 years ago, which has helped us out somewhat, but not to the full extent of the cost of the walkway. So to that extent, I think you'll notice the sports group will be doing a couple of small fundraisers in the guise of online Zoom quizzes, which seem to be all the rage in recent times. So from Friday night week, we're going to be starting off with the golf fraternity, of which I am one. So with the cognizant of the fact that there's only 20 more sleeps until the golf courses open, we'll be doing a quiz in advance of that. And we'll have a soccer quiz. We'll be having a sports quiz, regular table quiz for the following few Friday nights. So we'll let you know more how you can enter on Zoom and how you can participate from the comfort of your own home and enjoy the fun of a Zoom quiz. It only lasts an hour. It'll be a bit of fun. We have a few sponsored vouchers to give away, and it'll be a bit of crack, and it'll be as competitive or as fun as you want to make it. But the proceeds of whatever they will be will go to the sports group and to our continuing development of the facilities up there at the Fairgreen. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be advertising our first quiz, which is aimed at the golfers for Friday night week.
Thank you, Ollie. Dave and Angela are back, and I don't know, do I say a little bit of doom and gloom on your faces there as regards the outcome of tonight's Lotto draw?
No, we're back. No winner, no match 3. and Madrid are 3-1 up, even better as well.
You what?
Madrid are 3-1 up.
Oh, very good. So that's why you were smiling, okay?
Yeah, the local lads a little bit of light.
Okay, so next week our Lotto will be 7,800. And it'll be back again at the regular time on Monday night. Another comment in there, Michelle Corley. Can you put that one up, Dave? You read that one, Ollie, if you can. Where is it? There, you have it.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, well done, Marie. So say all of us. Good luck with your new role. Looking forward to getting the old boots on again. Yeah, well, so say all of us. I think the sooner we can get people back out doing what they're supposed to do, which is coaching and playing football, the better.
Okay, so good night to everybody. Thank you to Marie for coming on tonight, being our special guest. Ali coming back in. He's a great man for quizzes, so I'm looking forward to that Friday night in the quiz. To our 2 people from Stokes, Kennedy and Crowley out in Knockatee, and from me, Brian Keating. Good night. God bless. We'll see you next week.